So in this video we will cover absolutely the entire theoretical foundation of n8n if you are a beginner and have no clue what AI automations are, why they are needed or what problems they solve, but you want to understand it and just don't know where to start. n8n is an open source service that allows you to connect different applications and automate workflows without needing deep programming knowledge. It works through a visual editor, which basically means connecting blocks together, and this is done using nodes. It supports over 1,000 ready-to-use integrations with Telegram, Google Sheets, and CRM systems. And if a specific integration doesn't exist, it allows you to connect any service as long as it has an API. The entire workflow is built on nodes and arrows. We simply set up the logic. If event A happens in one service, trigger actions B, C, D in others. The main features of n8n, first and foremost, of course, is the visual builder. You don't need to write tons of code. You simply drag and drop blocks and configure them. Also, for those who want to dive deeper into automations and find themselves missing certain features, there is an option to embed JavaScript and Python code whenever needed. And also, the biggest and most important advantage of n8n is that thanks to its open source nature, you can install it on your own server or computer. This lets you run automations without any limitations, ensuring total security and complete control over your data. And what's most exciting is that you can master n8n with absolutely zero prior experience or programming knowledge. And now let's understand what ways there are to install n8n. The simplest way is the official cloud service from the creators of n8n, which allows you to launch it without any setup, hassle over updates, or managing database. However, it's a paid option, so you will have to pay. The second option is deploying it in your own server. This is much cheaper. You only need to pay for the server itself, which on average costs around $5 per month. But obviously it does require an understanding of how to deploy to a server, how to set it up, configure it, and constantly maintain updates, which is crucial for keeping everything secure. Naturally, data security is the most critical aspect of any business, so it requires special attention. The third option is useful if you need to quickly test or check something, deploying n8n on your local host. This is typically used for testing and fast prototyping. By the way, a video on how to do this in less than 1 minute is already available on this channel. Naturally, the most important thing for any businesses is to save its money and make even more, which is why I have divided the areas where automation comes in handy into 3 main groups. The very first category is saving employee time. Where is the money here? Time is money, of course. If an employee spends a ton of time on routine tasks, they might not have time for other high-value tasks they could be doing for the company. After all, the more tasks an employee completes, the more value they bring to the company. So, what kind of examples fall into this category? First off is data synchronization between systems. For instance, when a new lead comes into the CRM, they are automatically added to the email newsletter. A dedicated folder is created in Google Drive, and their info is pushed to an analytics spreadsheet. Another great example is an automated scraper for competitors' prices and product assortments. The parsing triggers at a specific time, for example at 7 a.m. when competitors update their prices, then it automatically scribes the prices, compares them with the company's pricing, generates an automated report, and if necessary adjusts the prices on the website. Yeah, of course you could do this without n8n, but with it the process is much simpler, more convenient, and doesn't require outside specialists. The next example is automated reporting. Every morning data on sales statistics, warehouse stock, or anything else is gathered, compiled into an Excel sheet, and sent straight to the manager. This easily saves an hour or two every single day. The next example is particularly interesting because reviews are major source traffic, and for managers, managing them is crucial. If a bad review pops up on Google, it can ruin your ratings, so handling feedbacks is essential. With n8n, we can easily set up an automation where a customer leaves a review and an AI block inside n8n analyzes the sentiment using NLP or other methods. If it detects a negative review, it instantly forwards it to the manager via WhatsApp. This allows for a rapid response to save the client relationship, saving time while preserving customer LTV. The fifth example in this category is limitless order processing. We can set up an automation that receives an order, handles the digital receipts and invoicing, splits and assigns tasks to different warehouses, sends shipment details to courier service, and updates stock levels. This means you don't have to scale up your team just for peak sales days, saving your staff a massive amount of time. Now let's move on to the second category, employee management and control. Minimizing human error directly saves money, and as the saying goes, a penny saved is a penny earned. The first example here is insurance against employee forgetfulness. We can build an automation that monitors client conversation or open deals, and if a deal sits idle for 15 minutes and it can check its status and automatically assigns a task to the manager. If there is still no reaction, it sends a WhatsApp alert to the manager. The result, a massive reduction in forgotten clients and lost deals. The next example is managing client outstanding balances. If a payment due date is 3 days away, n8n checks the bank account for incoming funds. If no payment is found, it automatically reminds the client via WhatsApp and generates a reconciliation statement. If the client still fails to pay, it blocks the service or access to it while simultaneously tagging the team members in charge. The result here, debts are collected on time. The last point in this list is data entry quality control. Imagine a manager moves a deal to the contract stage but forgets to attach the required files. n8n checks this instantly, automatically pushes the deal back to the previous stage, and leaves a comment stating that the transition has been blocked. The result is over control over your CRM without the usual chaos. And the last category is increasing sales speed and conversation rates. And in sales, speed is absolutely money. The first example here is personalized cold emailing. Imagine you have list of companies. The automation automatically search for contacts on LinkedIn, gathers data about their job title and interests, and then generates a highly personalized email tailored specifically to their business before sending it out. The next example is lead qualifications through research. In my opinion, this is a game changer, guys. When a new lead comes in, n8n analyzes the data they left in the form, assign a lead score based on the result, segments the lead by priority, and logs all the information into an Excel sheet or CRM system. So we have broken 10 automation examples, but in reality there are many more. You can create an endless number of variations with these workflows. It all depends on the business it needs and the company's goal. Now to tie it all together, let me show you a very simple automation using a real-world example, so you can see exactly how it works. Let's say we offer consulting services. A client messages our bot with a request, and we need to ask them for some information and save their answers. I have built this mini automation in n8n, which is connected to a Telegram bot. Its main job to collect leads and save them into Excel spreadsheet so we can process them later. The users press start, then the bot asks them what kind of request they have, their age and income level. Finally, it sends a confirmation message saying their request has been saved. And here is the coolest part. All of this data is automatically logged directly to Google Sheets. I hope this gives you a clear understanding of what AI automations are and how they work with n8n. If you want to dive deeper and learn how to build automations like this yourself, I have left useful links in the description below that will come in handy. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new content about AI.